Damon Martin MMA fighting here with the champ himself, the $1 million winner, the featherweight Grand Prix champion, and now the Bellator featherweight champion of the world, AJ McKee. AJ, welcome back. How are you? And congratulations on an amazing performance.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic. Even better now that I'm talking to you. I expected the titles to be on your shoulders, though. I expect you have them both right there on the shoulders.
Yeah, they're in the car right now. I just came back from my pops' house, so just getting settled in, dog attacking me and whatnot. But he's happy too. We're all happy. Happy big family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, congratulations on the performance. It's crazy. We talked before the fight, and I know maybe you saw it. I did the story over the weekend. You said, and your father said, Patricio Pitbull will be your easiest fight. It wasn't because you were disrespecting him. It was because you said, I've been preparing for this guy since the first day I came into MMA. Did you imagine the fight could play out that way? I mean, it was so quick.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a left kick. I didn't know whether it was going to be to the body or to the head. But once I got in there, I was able to read him a little bit, kind of figure out where he was going. He was worried about the left hand, so he dropped his right hand, and I just kind of read that, and I came up top with the head kick, but initially I thought it was going to be a body kick because of he usually keeps his guard really high, but he dropped that hand to set up his right hand, and over the top came the head kick.
Absolutely. You almost had the walk off. You stepped away for a second. You had to come back and get the guillotine. Walk me through that sequence, because it looked like it was over for a second, but then they didn't stop us. So you had to go back and grab the guillotine.
Yeah, I had him rocked with the kick. So once he was rocked with the kick, I threw it was a hook uppercut, and the uppercut was on the money, and then he went down like a sack of potatoes, and I got hyped. I heard everybody screaming, and I saw him go down, and I knew it was over with. So he started to come back too a little bit, and the ref hadn't stopped it. So that was kind of where I messed up a little bit. You know what I mean? You gotta stay on it until the ref pulls you off. And yeah, I just got back on him and went to my old faithful, that guillotine.
Absolutely. You locked him in that guillotine choke, and I mean, you had it so wrenched up. Like, I was actually shocked he held on as long as he did. Because you actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, you actually told the referee he's out, because we saw his arm kind of go limp on the replay. Did you feel him just kind of go out? Because it seemed like he survived a little longer than I thought he would.
Yeah, no, I felt his body go limp. Like, I had the leg hooked inside, so I just kind of knew where he was at.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you give me a sense of the emotion of that moment? The culmination of everything you've been working for, AJ, to get to this moment, to go through the Grand Prix, to know Pitbull was kind of the end of the road to this tournament, to win that way. Can you give me a sense of the emotion of that moment?
Nothing, man. It's a long journey. A lot of hard work's paid off. So I'm just excited. I'm loving the moment. I'm just kind of embracing it all and taking it one day at a time. I went to the gym, go see the teammates today, try to get on the mat a little bit, and just keep the routine going. You know what I mean? No days off.
Yeah. Can I ask you what you said to Pitbull after you guys embraced? I know this was a rivalry, and for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, again, I know we've done a lot of interviews, but correct me, this was never personal. It was just about going out and getting what he had to kind of crown yourself as, the champion you were destined to be. But what did you say to him? Because it seemed like you guys did have kind of a cool moment there where he came over and congratulated you, and obviously you saw his post fight, like he said, he took the loss like a champion, which I think was very impressive.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of mixed communications between his corner. Obviously, his coach loves to run his mouth a lot. Him not speaking that well of English, I think his coach was running back and telling him things and just kind of making it a feud more than what it needed to be. So I just wanted to make sure that he knew I respected him and his family, and that at the end of the day, it was nothing personal for me. And I just wanted to thank him for the opportunity. I told him thank you, and I never meant anything disrespectful to offend him or his family at the end of the day, and I didn't. I just wanted him to know how I felt in his shoes. And honestly, there being a language barrier, I think some things were misinterpreted, and maybe someone may have mixed and misunderstood my wordplay. But I that's, you know what I mean? I just felt from the goodness of my heart, I should have let him know at the end of the day, I respect him and what he has done.
Yeah. Now, obviously, because we saw the press conference, you got a little chippy there with the whole belt and everything. But like afterwards, would you say that? And again, you might see Pitbull again in your very next fight, but for the time being, you've kind of put that in terms of like there's not like any animosity at this point.
No, not at all. Not at all, man. Nothing but respect. I followed him on the gram. Like, you know what I mean? That's just the type of person I am. Once we're done fighting, I like to show my respect, him being a great champ and so forth. Yeah, I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah. Now, before the fight, they released the all access video from like the day of the weigh-ins, I think it was, and you were kind of warming up in the cage. And when you were in there, you said this is definitely the last one at 45. Now, maybe that's the weight cut talking. I don't know, but obviously becoming featherweight champion right now, like where are you at in terms of like what is next in terms of your featherweight future? Because I think a lot of people are going to have you ranked as the number one featherweight in the world now. Is your future going to be at featherweight? Like, kind of give me your thoughts, because that kind of surprised me when I saw that.
I'd like to move up. Obviously, within Bellator, there's nothing left for me in the 145-pound division. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we get some super fights. We make it willing. We make it worth my while to stay here at 145 pounds, not just having fun. You know what I mean? The $1 million was a reason to stay at 145 pounds. But after that, you know what I mean? I'm undefeated. Let's not look back. Let's keep progressing, keep moving forward. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing. So we got to sit down, go to Bellator, go to the drawing board, and see what to do and how to take things from there.
Yeah. So none of the other guy, and I don't want to, I don't want to sit here trying to, disrespect anybody else in the division, but in terms of anybody else at 45 right now at Bellator doesn't really interest you, is kind of what you're saying. Like in the terms of the current roster.
I've had 18 fights in that organization at that division. I mean, who's next? You know what I mean? I don't really care. I want, like I said, I've already beat the best. So I'd like to beat the best again. Maybe he needs some time to go kick back, relax. He said he wants some time off. I don't mind. We could give him that time off, and we'll see where things go from there.
Yeah. Do you anticipate your next fight, if you're playing matchmaker right now, literally 2 days removed from your win, but still, do you anticipate your next fight will be Pitbull for the lightweight title? If you're kind of matchmaking, do you feel like that's probably going to be it?
Definitely run it back for everybody that may have thought it was a fluke. I got lucky or something. Like, we could do it again. I know he wants that get back. He's a great champ. He's held those reins for a long time, so he's got to do a little bit of self-reflecting himself. And we'll see him soon. I know at the end of the day, he's a fighter. He lives to fight another day, and he's looking forward to getting that get back.
Yeah. Now, you told me long before this event, you told me 100% in your mind you believed you were the best featherweight in the sport, but there were still going to be those questions. People, I know you said, I did the article on you said, people are going to question, say you've been protected, you've been this, you've been that, and I know you didn't really care, but you believed you were the best featherweight long before this fight happened. But now that you went out there and really just decimated the Bellator GOAT in a minute and change. I know you got a lot of respect for Max Holloway. I know you said many times that's a dream fight for you, and I'm sure there's a lot of respect for Alexander Volkanovski in the UFC as well. And maybe we'll see those fights down the road. But in your mind right now, is there any question you are the best featherweight in all of mixed martial arts right now?
Nah, I've felt that way since the beginning of my career. So, at this point, this is me showing everybody else, and that's the part I'm really enjoying, is now allowing everybody else to see it. You know what I mean? People are beginning to believe it. And it's not just me saying it, other people are saying it now, other people are seeing it. And that's honestly just the greatest piece is getting the recognition, getting the respect from everyone else, and just being able to be a people's champ now, people are loving it, the more they love it, the more I love it.
Yeah. Now listen, you're not opposed to do a little trash talking when necessary. I got to ask you the question. Did you see the tweet from Saturday night from Jake Paul? Because a lot of people were talking about your performance kind of mirrored a little bit of what happened with Conor McGregor when he knocked out Jose Aldo a few years ago, and kind of like the passing of the torch, and that kind of, created a whole new superstar in Conor McGregor. And Jake said, AJ McKee would, I can't read the exact wording, but more or less would roll through the 2015 McGregor. Did you see that? Did you get a laugh out of that? Did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed it. I think that's a smart man, and he knows what's up. He probably sees the mindset. He sees the look in the eyes. At the end of the day, Conor could get it then. He can get it now. You know what I mean? like I said, before he became champ, I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. So, yeah, all the accolades, the things he's achieved in his life, man, hats off to him. But he's lost. You know what I mean? It's a different mindset. It's you give him a way out and he'll take it. Versus myself, you give me a way out, I'm not going to take it. You're going to have to earn it.
Yeah. Now, we talked before the fight about long-term goals in terms of your career. And listen, there's no doubt people are going to throw a lot of names at you and say, oh, what about you and Max? What about you and Volkanovski? But you are a Bellator fighter.
Now, to rugby.
It's kind of funny timing. Right before we spoke, I just spoke to Steven Espinosa, the president of Showtime, and I asked him about you and the long-term investment of being in the AJ McKee business. And he made it clear you are 100% a priority. They don't want you going anywhere. They want you in Bellator. You've been there for 18 fights, and I'm sure they'd love to have you for another 18 fights. Where is your mindset now? I mean, you just earned $1 million, you just became champion, but like, where is your mindset in terms of the future?
It's a great beginning, man. We got a lot of money behind us, which having Showtime, CBS, just these big collabs. These are big things, you know. These are big money moves. These are big companies. Obviously, I want to do some boxing, so being able to kick back, relax, and go do a little bit of boxing maybe and see what that realm looks like. Having Espinosa on the team it's a blessing. You know what I mean? Having the boxing world just respect me and recognize me for my craft is phenomenal within itself. You know, Showtime's been putting on great shows for years, man. They're the cream of the crop when it comes to fighting. That's like Porsche in the car industry. You know what I mean? So I love it. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing business with them. It's nice to have them behind me and backing me. And I look forward to what the future holds for us all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Are you going to be coming out here to Ohio for the Jake Paul Woodley fight, representing Bellator out there? You coming out for the fight? I'm
definitely coming out for that. Definitely. That's mandatory. I'll probably bring this bad boy right here with me too, just to walk around with it. You know what I'm saying? Got to get used to carrying it.
I love it. I love it. You know, we saw on Saturday night, you know, you hit nothing but a G thing, hit on the speakers. You're in LA. You're focused on the fight, but a lot of people believe this was kind of the transcendent moment for AJ McKee, where you cross over from being a great fighter to a superstar. And I know in a lot of ways you're already a superstar, but I mean like that next level, that McGregor level, that next level of superstardom. Did you feel that on Saturday night? I mean, I heard the eruption when that Dr. Dre and Snoop hit on the speakers. People lost their freaking minds. I mean, you saw it in LA. You felt the love. Like, did you feel that kind of moment, or can you feel it now after the fight? Do you have kind of crossed over that next threshold?
Definitely. I loved it, man. I think the first tale of that was when I fought Georgie at the Forum. All the fans came out and they were loving, they were supporting, but they weren't there for me at that moment, you know? But after the fight, after I had that 8-second round finish, a lot of people respected it. A lot of people loved it. And the hype just went through the roof. So after that, you know, now this fight being for me and for me to pretty much be the main event and steal the show like I did, it was awesome. And it was just so surreal to have all those people come together there for you in that one moment. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. Buddy. I know. Someone hasn't seen me in a couple weeks.
Hey, you got the dog's got to get some attention. I fully understand that.
He does.
I fully understand that.
He's down.
Let me ask you, AJ, you know, listen, we all know when we talk about these super fights, you know, there's a lot of hypotheticals in there. Now, Scott Coker has made it very clear. He's more than willing to cross promote and bring over guys. If they think they can beat you, let's do it. Let's go. Now, we all know Dana White's not going to do it. We know he's not going to send Max Holloway to fight you. We know he's not going to send Volkanovski to fight you. But in your mind, I know you just mentioned Volkanovski, and I know Holloway's been a dream fight of yours for years, but matchup-wise, like, I don't know that you ever need to fight them to prove you're the best in the world, but, like, how do you feel you match up with those kind of guys?
I come home victorious, you know what I mean? It's that kill or be killed mindset. At the end of the day, a lot of respect for Volkanovski being a world champion, but he came from another sport. So for you to be in another sport and then come over to this sport and be dominant, it shows that he has the mindset to do it. But I don't know if he has all the crafts. Actually, I know he doesn't have all the crafts to do it. Whether it's on the feet, whether it's on the ground, wherever the fight may go, adapting in that situation, I feel like there's a lot to expose in his career, in his skill set. Max Holloway just being an elite striker, man. He's neck and neck with Max. You know what I mean? And then obviously the ground game of Brian Ortega. I'd like to see how he does with that. If Ortega can get him to the ground, rugby players know their center of ground, so might be a little struggle trying to get him down to the ground. But at the end of the day, man, I would love to fight any of those dudes anywhere, any place, anytime.
Yeah, but you mentioned obviously you got a great partnership with Showtime. I know they talked about crossing you over and have you fight on CBS, which is massive. I mean, network TV is a big deal. I mean, listen, if you never fought a day in the UFC, I still think you can have a superstar career, do amazing things, make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we're not at the point now where you have to fight in one organization to make it. I think you won $1 million on Saturday night. You made it. You made it already.
I agree, but at the end of the day, it's to show all the fans that the fighters make the organizations. The organizations don't make the fighters. And in this sense, I am the best 145-pounder in the world. And that's the point I would like to make, regardless.
Yeah. Let me ask you real quick before I get you out of here, AJ. You already said you're already back in the gym, kind of celebrating with the guys a little bit. You're already back home. Love from the dog is probably better than just about anything you got on Saturday night. But I got to ask, you won $1 million. Are you doing anything? Are you doing something special? You just won $1 million. You buying yourself a new car? Anything?
Not yet, but I'm sure I will. I'm gonna do something here. I have to in a second. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna get something done.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. You got $1 million check. You can't not do something nice for yourself, right?
My dad said just don't spend it in one place.
Well, AJ, congratulations again, man. It was an amazing performance. I mean, you couldn't have written a better script for an ending of that fight for you to go out and do what you did. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy a little vacation. Hopefully, congratulations again on the win. I can no longer call you AJ. I'm just gonna have to address you as champ now. But thank you so much for doing this on such short notice right after the fight. I really do appreciate it. And congratulations again on an amazing performance.
Anytime. Thank you. And thank you for having me.